So, in my community post, I pretty much, more or less said that I was going to move on from the gotcha community. Not in the sense of not stop playing Genshin, of course, but just, commenting on things, watching, videos in regards of the tribalism nonsense. I'm moving away from it because I grown to realize that it doesn't matter what is said. It doesn't even matter what is being proven wrong in terms of people spreading misinformation or just stupidity on their part. It generally doesn't matter because no matter what, people are going to believe what they want to believe and not believe the things that are in front of them. Now, you can tell me, as someone who played Genshin, that Genshin is stingy with their polls. You will be correct. For the most part, anyway, you will be correct. Genshin should raise up their residents so that way people can actually, farm more. You'll be correct. Genshin should do what Star Rail and ZZZ does in terms of getting you a pull, a login, the whole temple thing. I agree, they should. There are plenty of things I could say that Genshin could get and should get, in terms of, improving itself. The game ain't perfect. I can acknowledge that. The game has its flaws. Again, I can acknowledge that. Now, does any of that, make it less fun to play or make it a chore to play? No. I still enjoy it and I still play it. And regardless if I spend my time playing it, regardless if I spend money on the game, should not be anybody else's business but my own, because unless you're fucking me or paying my bills or putting food in my stomach and keeping a roof over my head, then you shouldn't worry about how I spend my money or how I spend my time any more than I would worry about how you spend your time. That's how I see it. But again, I, being a, Genshin player, can acknowledge all this. I can acknowledge all this. But the reason why it's pointless for me to go through the back and forths, making videos about people like Live, Saint, Neon Infinity, others, is that they choose to be blind and choose to defend nonsense in order to continue the narrative of Hoyo bad, but Kuro/War good. At this point in time, I think we can all safely say that Withering Waves has some predatory fucking tactics. We can say that they are predatory. If people like Saint and others want to excuse it and call it this and call it that, then they are idiots. Plain and simple. The fact that you have them defending a spending event, the fact that you had them defending a transducer, a reverse substat item being paywall, the fact that you had people defending the fucking shit, this fucking drizzling shit that was the second anniversary, or should I say anniversary, and the fact that you have them defending the fucking collab and the whole changing of the pool currency. At this point, the fact that you have some people still trying to throw out the whole Hoyo greedy, Hoyo predatory nonsense just makes them look incredibly fucking dumb to me. It really does. And at this point, I am amazed that the people still have people subscribe to them to listen to their nonsense. But it's as Live Q has said, rule for thee but not for me. And he absolutely right. Because when it's Withering Waves and they do this kind of bullshit, it's perfectly fine, perfectly normal, and excusable. But if Hoyo do it, for a fact, every CC out there that is hate on Hoyo, they'll be knuckle deep if any of the shit that War has done, Hoyo would have done. But there's always an excuse. It's not the game fault, it's Hoyo's fault. It's not the dev's fault, it's the Hoyo shell's fault. It's not the company's fault, it's the player's fault. They will find every excuse possible to blame everything else but the fucking game. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. From 3.0 up until this point with 3.4, have Withering Way have not have some controversy or at least have some criticism since 3.0 began and where we're at now. From the story, the character assassination of Chisa, the fucking spending event, the fucking transducers, the fact that they refuse to rerun older characters, the fucking anniversary once again not giving you a fucking thing. And here we are now with the fucking collab. Now I will say this, and I will, keep this a buck. I will not shit on the collab as a whole. They did good in terms of how they went about it, and the fact that it did well in the Steam play account. The fact that the story, from what I heard, looks good, seems good, and everything else. I'm not going to take that away from them. If they do manage to, get first or have the top one spot in the gacha revenue by the end of this month, hey, I give them some props. They did good. But I'm not going to pretend like this fucking collab is something of the greatest thing of all time. If Sane and others want to breathe, sniffing that copium and believing that they can. Because as I said, if we are going to excuse war for shit like this, then the fact that they open their fucking gums to talk about anything with whole you do predatory or not is incredibly fucking hypocritical and incredibly fucking stupid. The fact that I had to sit here for a good few weeks listening to the people in the Genshin community, including the idiots from the war side, talking about 60 pulls, 60 pulls, 60 pulls. And yet, when we look at Withering Waves, you have people that literally saved a year of pulls, assuming they could use their regular pulls to get a fucking Rebecca or a Lucy or both in their weapons. But then they couldn't get either of it because Withering Wave wanted to change their fucking currency. But you have dumb dicks like Saint Tonta sitting there trying to say, well, since they're giving you good content, and since the content is so good, they're allowed to be greedy. They're allowed to try to take money out your fucking pocket, and they're allowed to do some shady shit like this. So, you guys tell me, is there a reason for me to make a video talking about anything involving the content creators, anything involving the Genshin community, or the war community for that matter? Is there any reason for me making videos regarding it? And the sad thing is that much like when it comes to Hoyo, Kuro/Ruwa, they too have a loud minority that will call out the greed, that will call out the bullshit. But the vast majority could care less. They could care less. And they would just choose to not acknowledge it. They would choose not to call it out. They would choose to cover their eyes to bullshit, then call out fucking Wuwa and what the fuck they do. And what makes it worse is that the very people that would shit on Hoyo for these kind of things, they do not say anything regarding Withering Waves. Nothing. To which I then ask again, what is the point of going back and forth with people that is always going to be hypocritical, that is always going to have that double standard bullshit? What's the point? Genuinely, what is the point? Withering Wave can have 2 more spinning events for the rest of the 3 point something versions. I can almost guarantee you, Saint and others will just defend it. Say that's fine, excuse it, blame it on everything else, and not hold war accountable. That's what's gonna happen. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves here. This collab they got going on is good, and I'm sure that if they do make it the number 1 spot, it would be deserved. But let's be for real here. who is really carrying that? Who is carrying that? Is it Withering Waves or is the collab? Is it Lucy and Rebecca? Or is it any of the Wu War characters? What is going to carry Wu War to that number one spot? Because you had to then ask yourself this. After 3.4, you got 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you think Withering Wave is going to keep up that momentum from that point forward? Do you really think so? Because as we saw since 3.0 to now, that had not been the case. 3.0 didn't get them a whole lot of money. 3.1 only did because it had a spinning event. 3.2 was nobody gave a fuck about two characters on that. 3.3 was an anniversary, so of course top up reset. And 3.4 you have a collab. If every time you see them making a lot more money than normal, you had to then think, is it because of kind of a money event? Is it some kind of spending event? That's how you start. That's how you're going to start looking at Wu War from this point forward. Because they damn sure ain't making they ain't making like fucking 40 something million with their own characters. We've seen that. We know that's to be true. We know that to be true. And again, this not even me shitting on Withering Wave. This is just facts. This is just fact. Regardless if people want to say the revenue numbers don't mean nothing or anything of the sort, it's clear that if they do make it to number one, which you know for a fact that when and if they do, all of a sudden the number's gonna matter. All of a sudden, even though a lot of these fucking idiots will sit there and say the numbers don't matter, the gotcha revenue shit is fake and rigged. It only rigged for Hoya to always win, supposedly. But you know for a fact, if they do manage to reach number one, then all of a sudden the numbers matter. Then all of a sudden the numbers are real. Because as I said, rule for thee but not for me is only true and is only real when it benefits me. So like I said, if they win, you didn't have to think, is that because of Withering Waves? Or is that because of Cyberpunk? Is that because of Withering Wave great roster of characters? Or is that because of two characters that had absolutely nothing to do with the key story of the game? As much as people want to continue to do this tribalistic bullshit between Wu War and Genshin, the way I look at it, or Wu War and Elder Hoyoverse games, I should say, the way I look at it, if we're talking about the greed, the predatory practice and whatnot, Wu War has that in the bag. And if you're thinking otherwise, then again, you're just covering your fucking eyes and closing your ears to the fucking truth. And that's all it really boiled down to. All it boiled down to. So again, I had to ask myself, is there a point? Is there a point? I think what I find even more funny is that the more these CCs and the people run their fucking mouth, and the more Wu War proves that they can top that and fuck up themselves. Case in point, if you guys remember, before Wu War even had the anniversary live stream, Star Rail did. What did St. Tontos did? He decided to shit on that on that live stream. He decided to shit on Star Rail's anniversary. And I said in a comment on Deacon King's YT video, I remember saying all he did open the floodgates. That's all he did. He opened the floodgates because at that point nobody even knew what Wu War was doing for the anniversary. No one knew. But you then had to hope, for the sake of staying faith, that Wu War would be doing something fucking outlandish for that fucking anniversary. They would have to pull out all the stops. They would have to really make up for what the fuck happened last year. And then, lo and behold, they dropped the fucking ball. They fumbled it. So you know what that means? What that means is that ZZZ anniversary, when it happens and they inevitably give out some free shit and whatnot, for a fact that the ZZ community, at least the one that want to be petty about this kind of shit, they're going to fucking shit on Wu War in their anniversary. Same thing with Genshin. when Genshin had the anniversary, you know for a fact that some people in the Genshin community that probably are pity, kind of like I would be, will shit on the World Wars anniversary. And let me make this clear now for any fucking moron that would say it. No, Rebecca being free don't mean shit. It's an obligation for the collab. It's an obligation. That do not mean anything. Nada. Zero. Zip. When they give away a free shorekeeper that's not locked behind a fucking spinning event, then you can come tell me something. Until then, let's not say a collab character that was always going to be free as saying, well, look, they gave away someone for free. Let's not do that. Let's not be stupid people, okay? Like I said, there's no point. There's zero fucking point. You know, why bother talking about this kind of shit? Why bother reading fucking comments on a video? So just, them saying some random shit that doesn't make any sense. Just saying just any kind of random shit to try to, I guess, change the goalpost to what the fuck is being talked about. Having people just saying and just making up false fucking information with zero fucking context, with zero fucking proof of it being true or not. It's the fucking same, just trust me bro fucking mentality. Like the whole idea that anytime Wuwa does something that is either predatory or just plain fucking dumb, you have the CC trying their utmost to defend the shit, while at the same time, at the same breath, call themselves then try and criticize what the fuck Hoyo is doing. I will say this, and maybe I'm wrong, but I will say this. For the amount of people that was crying and bitching and moaning about not only having 60 plus polls, because apparently motherfuckers just out here going into these updates at zero fucking polls, apparently. Okay, as much as I was saying that, it then dawns to you that should people be complaining about that? And that being something of valid interest, or should people complain about the fact that you have a war player that probably thought to themselves, hey, you know what, a year from now or somewhere in that next year, they're gonna have a Cyberpunk collab. I'm probably gonna pull a few characters. So they saved up their polls, and even you want to say they're not a free-to-play player, even you want to say they swipe their credit card, they saved up a good while for this fucking collab. They spent maybe spent a good amount of money for this fucking collab, and then they get fucked over because Wuwa decided to change their fucking poll currency. Now you tell me, dear audience, should I make a video and listen to people bitch and moan about 60 plus polls? I've done that already. I gotten 7 likes and 8 dislikes. People didn't like my fucking opinion about it. And to which I say, hey, the truth hurts, don't it? The truth hurts. Because in the end of the day, it didn't change anything, did it? It didn't amount to jack daily shit, did it? And as I said, what's funny to me is that when you had the Wuwa CCs, just yapping at the fucking guns, here Wuwa topping the bullshit, topping the stupidity. Cause what did they do? Oh, you have 500 something polls that you saved up? Well, get fucked. Because we're giving you a different currency to pull for the collab characters. Now, where was these, outstanding citizens of the Wuwa CCs that was going to stand up to this and stand up for the fucking hypocrisy of it all? Nowhere to be seen. They made a video talking about it, but all they did make excuses, kiss their ass, saying that, well, since they gave you some great content, it was okay. It was okay for them to pull the rug off your fucking feet and pretty much say, well, hey, you got fucked, that's too bad. We can't do nothing for you. So yeah, I'm not going to bother wasting my time making videos in regards of the idiots within either community. If the Genshin community wants to continue doom posting and then not having the balls to, follow through with it, then let them do it. I do not care. I generally don't. I mean, we will pass the point where I should be believing anything that the Genshin community was saying, because either they were going to commit to it or they don't. And we have seen plenty of time that, at least in a lot of cases, they're not willing to bend the knee. They'll try to convince everybody else to quit and everybody else to be free to play and all this other nonsense, but they're not going to do it. So if they're not doing it, why the fuck are you trying to convince people else to fucking do it beyond me? Then you have the toxic, hypocritical fucking folks in the rural community, especially these CCs. And again, at this point, I don't know why anybody would take what the fuck they say into heart, because they shown that Woo can come to your house, kick you in your balls, stomp on them shits, and then steal your fucking wallet. And these CCs and whether some of these fucking players were just simply saying, well, it's not Woo's fault, it's your fault. You should have wore a cup when they came to kick you in your shits. That's how it would be. You should have your money in a bank. That's how it would be. They ain't blaming Woo for anything, and they refuse to. And because they refuse to, they just make it more and more and more clear that they are going to always be biased, and that they is always going to take the side of something that they like over the thing that they hate. And we've seen this. From the entirety of 3.0 till 3.4, we have seen this. And really all this did in reality, it just showed how Woo can be greedy, how Woo can be predatory, and how some of these fucking idiots within the fucking community will just react to it and then try to be positive and trying to not act, and then trying to act as if it's not as bad as it actually is. When in reality, it just make them look like fucking hypocrites and make them look incredibly fucking stupid when they have the gall to then try to point their finger about what the fuck Hoya is doing. All I will say though is that I apologize to some people, or at least to my subscribers. I apologize because I'm sure that's not who you came to my fucking channel to see me fucking, complaining about motherfuckers on the internet that really have no influence on my life one way or another. I apologize for them. And as I said, I'm going to make it a point, a vow, if you will, that I'm not going to be making any more fucking drama-related content on this channel. Now, does that mean I'm going to delete the videos I have made talking about random drama and stuff that I talked about in the past? No, I'm not going to be like LiveKeyo and Blazion and just delete that content off my channel. It's there, my opinion still stands on it, so it doesn't really matter one way or another. But as far as me ranting about any other particular thing moving forward, nah, I'm over it. I am over it. I'm going to enjoy my game. I'm going to enjoy it for me. I'm not going to enjoy it for other people. And as I said in the beginning of the video, what I do with the game, how I spend my time, my money, whatever, it's my business. It's solely my business. Just like if you choose to play War and want to go through all the motions of spending events, different pull currency and all that, that's your business. I have no reason to judge you anymore. You got any reason to judge me. So that's all that needs to be said about that. So hope you all having a lovely morning, good afternoon, and a peaceful evening. And I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace out.